So I want to talk about blended learning. In the past, I've talked about e-learning and when to use it, and online learning, when to use it, and facilitated learning and when to use it. And I feel like blended learning is kind of that final frontier. So it pulls together all that great thinking and all those different delivery channels and looks at when do I use which and how do I integrate the different delivery channels. So it identifies the best approach based on the situation that you're in or that content lends itself to. So a couple of considerations to think about. First of all, the nature of the content and the audience and the environment all drive the delivery channel. So if you want to do something online, but you don't really have the technology to support it, then including online in your blended approach doesn't make sense. So your circumstances need to dictate what delivery approach you use. The other thing is it's important to have, or it's helpful rather, to have design guidelines around when do I choose which one. So you might have a principle or a guideline that says, if it's a model, I do it in e-learning. If it's for this audience group, I always do it online. If it's for this audience group, I always do it in person. So whatever those guidelines are, those markers that you can make to help you make decisions, and then also be consistent about that. The other thing is that with blended learning, I also like to pair it with micro-learning. So for example, if you have maybe a 30-minute or a 60-minute e-learning course, think about how you can chunk that down to, if it's 60 minutes, maybe it's 4 15-minute modules or even shorter. So we're getting shorter and shorter, more micro as we can. So it's not just a matter of taking that 60-minute e-learning and chopping it up. There is some design that you need to have that goes into it to integrate those different pieces. So you could redesign it and maybe you have one e-learning and then you have some online facilitator training and then a second e-learning and some online, or maybe it's e-learning with some online discussion board or e-learning with go apply it to a job or something like that. So it's not just chopping it up, but it's breaking it up and redesigning it and looking at how can I do that in a micro way. So can I pull out just a video and have that as one learning object? So the challenge with that is that a risk, I suppose, is that people can get lost in all those little bits and figure out, like, I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing when, or where am I supposed to go to learn this piece? So you need to have technology, some kind of infrastructure to support that. And you need to have a plan for the learner so they know what it is that they're doing when. So often a learning path is something that people create, or kind of what's the program curriculum. So first I do this, then I do this, and it's really clearly laid out visually for that person to complete it. So those are some key considerations of what to look for or what to think about when considering a blended approach. But if you're comfortable with the kind of the big three buckets, absolutely, I would look for opportunities to use a blended approach and then tailor the delivery channel for that audience and for that content. I hope that helps.